Welcome, everyone. I'm Christine Diekman. I'm professor in the Department of Art, Media, and Design, where I teach film, video, and sound studies. And I'm also professor of Introduction to Sound Studies, which is one of the courses that is hosting our series, Resounding Visions. I'm here tonight with Professor Diaz.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Misael Diaz. I'm an assistant professor of art, media, and design at Cal State San Marcos as well, and the instructor of AMD 368 Art of World Cultures, which is the other course that is hosting the Resounding Visions speaker series this semester. We wanted to begin today's presentation, as we have been others in the series, with a land acknowledgement. Our guest, Guillermo Estrada, Professor Diekman, and I would like to acknowledge that we are speaking to you tonight from the unceded territory of the Kumeyaay peoples, and that the meeting place of CSUSM and its surrounding areas is still home to the 6 federally recognized bands of the La Jolla, Pala, Palma, Pechanga, Rincon, Soboba Liseño, Payamcowicham people. We would like to take this moment to acknowledge and express our appreciation and respect for those groups whose homelands we reside and learn on, recognizing that they are stewards of this land from time immemorial, in spite of the ongoing violence of settler colonialism. Given that we are not all together for this session, we invite you to look into whose ancestral homelands you reside on by consulting the resources we are sharing in the chat, and recognizing that this is a first step in acknowledging the resilience and strength of Indigenous communities and expressing solidarity with efforts to undo their intentional erasure.
Thank you, Misael, for that acknowledgement. So welcome again to Resounding Visions. This is a year-long series of BIPOC artists, musicians, and scholars who work at the intersection of sound and art to explore forms of cultural resistance and affirmation. The programming committee for this series includes faculty members, Professor Diaz, who's here, myself, Christine Diekman, Ana Luisa Petrisco, and Jeff Ray. I want to extend a very special thank you to Steve and Laura Wagner and the Epstein Family Foundation for their generous funding that makes these events possible. We also want to thank the School of Arts staff for their support, specifically Albert Rascon and Kevin Coleman. All of the presentations are online via Zoom, and we have, I think, 2 or 3 more in the series. And there's a link that's provided before the presentation, as you know. Events are Thursday evenings at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and we urge you to stay informed by following us on our Instagram, and I will post that in the chat. Oops, not that. Hold on a second. There you go. Please follow us on our Instagram. So Professor Diaz will offer more information and introduce our presenter for tonight. Thank you.
So before I introduce today's guest speaker, I just wanted to let you all know that in lieu of using the chat to share questions and or comments with our presenter, we ask that you please use the Q&A function. We're going to be closing the chat shortly. So if you have any question or comments that you'd like us to share with tonight's guest presenter, please type it into the Q&A for us to address. I will be reading these questions and comments out loud for our presenter tonight, and the presentation itself will last approximately 45 minutes, and then afterwards we'll go into that Q&A session. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for tonight, Guillermo Estrada. Guillermo Estrada is a multimedia artist and performer whose practice contends with notions of alienation and belonging in the context of the U.S.-Mexico borderlands. Drawing from personal family experience, his work explores the affective and political dimensions of in-betweenness, combining sounds and images from Mexican and U.S. American pop culture, Kumeyaay and Christian cosmologies, and ancestral and cosmic planes. In 2010, he launched Rancho Shampoo, a musical project which channels sounds from behind the cosmos through the use of flute, field recordings, and electronic instruments. He is also the director of La Catedral del Underground, a video documentary project that's focusing on the art and music scene at the US-Mexico border between Baja California and Southern California. And he's also a co-founder of Doña Pancha Fest, an independent underground music and art festival whose past editions have taken place in Tecate, Mexicali, Guadalajara, and San Diego. He has shown and performed for venues including the Mingay International Museum, Coaxial Arts, UCSD Commons Gallery, Residencia 797 in Guadalajara, Mexico, and opened his first solo show at 206 Arte Contemporáneo in October 2020. We're so excited to have him joining us, so please welcome Guillermo Estrada.
Hi, Guillermo, welcome.
Hello, hi, how are you? Thank you for having me here. And okay, guys, so again, thank you. I want to thank to the California State University of San Marcos, Christine, Misael, and Albert to put this together. As part of my presentation, I would like to let you know, guys, that my first language is Spanish, as you may know, and my second language is English. So, in case that you don't understand me or something, I can rephrase, so no problem. So, my name is Guillermo Miguel Estrada Cosillo. It's my full name. It's a long name. I'm born in Tecate. I have a degree on history in Tijuana, la Universidad Autónoma de Baja California in Tijuana. So that's why I'm a little bit interested more in, story and all the kinds of, uh, like also oral history. Probably that's the best way to go. Make an interview. So that's my work. It's about trying to, on the history part, trying to understand the other people's life and that kind of situation on the history part. I'm a little bit nervous, so let's. Uh, so recently, I got my MFA on visual arts at UCSD with my research on, I name it Alien Indigenismo, traveling to other dimensions with Rancho Shampoo. In this presentation, I would like to focus a little bit on explaining and um, the book or my thesis that I present for having this MFA diploma. So I just want to mention that this is a constant research that it's happening through my life, and it's not been done. It's always theorize about everything that surround me, collaborations, audio, and a bunch of stuff that mix together on this alienindigenismo, like I don't know, like concept that I. So this alienindigenismo, it's about limits, regions, connection, connections, collaboration, memory, spirituality, and at the end of the, after I go to this book or this artist's book that I'm gonna show you, I would like to put some videos or probably in the middle. I don't know, all depends. Let's experiment on that part. So, like I said, this work was the result of adjusting myself on the MFA proposal that I did in 2020 due the conditions that occurred since last year. We already know that this situation worldwide, So that's why I was preparing to do a big show, but since that wasn't possible, I created the thesis became an art book. Uh, so aliendigenismo and aliendígena is the way that I conceive my my limits, my regions, where I live between these two countries in Mexico, between Mexico and United States, and I explain in this book how became a little bit like with this idea about aliendigenismo, but through my personal experience, which is some kind of collaboration with my ancestors, my friends, my family, my memory, my sound, all that kind of things. At the end, I don't know, came together to uh, to do this project, which is to me is very it's important because it makes me think about everyone else, makes me think about myself, and it makes me think about the people is not around with me anymore, right? So a little bit of context about this book. Some people, because this fictional, this I don't know, the music, the fictional part, or this idea about the space, or in my case, the cosmos. They try me to tell me, like, you should uh, connect your work with Sonra, and which I believe is pretty good. I respect a lot Sonra, uh, because it's one of a, how would mm, the pioneers of the Afrofuturismo, right? But I'm more interested about to know who is Herman Sonny Blunt. All the things happened before Sonra became Sonra. So, and also that's why in that sense, in my process, I told one of my friends, you know what, I know it's important. It's a lot of we have something in a lot of in common in the project about Rancho Shampoo and uh, Sonra. But at the end, what I wanted to go, it was I wanted to go deeper on that idea. Rancho Shampoo is my alter ego. It's something that it happened. I don't know how it happens, but I believe that it's about the fiction and all this idea to get in contact with my grandfather. And I didn't know at the moment, but since I started to look in deep and deep and deep, uh, I thought it was a great coincidence between what I've been doing just uh, because, and now that I thinking more seriously about what is why I was why I was doing this kind of uh, I don't know, the perform or the audio, or all that kind of things. So it makes sense at the end of the MFA because I started asking myself why, And I remember asking my friends Nina Holch and Eduardo Thomas. They are from Mexico City, but Eduardo, he's doing his PhD right here at UCSD. I'm in San Diego right now. Right? So, and between Nina and Thomas, told me, you know what, you should go and look for Gloria Anzaldúa. Gloria Anzaldúa was an American scholar in Chicana culture theory and feminist theory and queer theory. So, and she have a this book named Borderlands, the New Mestiza. So, and in that book, probably she applies that concepts about autohistoria and autohistoria teoria, which means it's I don't know, like you can tell stories about your uh, self and theorize, but you need to talk about those stories with taking the people around, like taking in consideration the people around. It could be your friends, your family, uh, and also again the people who is not around with us, which is pretty pretty good to me because, like Misael in the beginning told that I was Christian. Well, my mother is a Christian, and I didn't know how important that all that experience that I have since I had like 5 years old to 18 years old, going to the church every Wednesday, every Saturday and Sunday to learn about the Christianity, about uh, thinking about Jesus coming for us. And at the same moment, I remember my family used to tell me, you know what, your grandfather, whose name is Guillermo, too. That's why they put me like my name is Guillermo because my grandfather on the side of my mother. Uh, it's a Kumeyaay. He born in Campo, California. I say, okay, but I didn't believe at the beginning, but I will explain that later. So because of those things, I start to go back in the memory and theorize about those ideas. And when I was a kid, I always get attracted about music. So it was a lot of elements that helped me out think about uh, alienismo or also memory and also oral history and also limits, regions, borders, and is when I start to fictionalize my life with the people who surround me. So I will start to share my screen so I can do some. So, well, if you want to look, this is she is Gloria Saldua. This is the the book that it's like a Bible to me in this thesis. But I want to put it together. What I want to show you where we are right now. So as you may see, we have a lot of limits, a lot of regions, a lot of borders, a lot of you know, things to talk about. You know, this border between Baja California and California is not the only one. We have a lot of stuff, but also I'm interested on think about the cosmos or what is gonna call the sky. This is the only allows me to, but I'm gonna. So I think that where's that right here? I think in the cosmos is where all the people who pass away, it's is where they live right now, right? And that's why it's also important to me to let you know why the cosmos is important. Let's go back to Earth. So I'm from Tecate. So this is where we are in this region, right? Let's go. So this is the way that I see my travelings. This is Tecate, this is Campo, California. So this is where my grandfather was born in the Kumeyaay community at Campo. But also I study in TJ. I go a lot to Mexicali to, you know, visit a friend, but also to do some work on audio and music, also perform. We are right here in San Diego. This is El Cajon where my parents live right now. This is Escondido where I used to work also. And San Marcos is where you're supposed to be now, at school, but you're at home right now, so it's pretty good. So then, let's see. So also a little bit of explanation. So this is where alien, how did I connect this two words, alien and indigena? So alien, it's somebody who is from another place or strange place. Foreigner or exotic, probably. And from Spanish and indigena, uh, he's from another country or persona que nació o tuvo su origen en la tierra, la región o el país del que se trata, que se relaciona con los pueblos y las culturas originarias de un lugar, indígenas americanos, indígenas mexicanos, indígenas asiáticos o de una lengua europea. So that means that you are from a place, so you are from some kind of, I don't know, where are you from? That means that it's a community. So this is the book, and you can. I think Professor Misael just shared you the link, but I want to go through. This is a little bit. This is what I present on my MFA final show. So it's dedicated to the pluridimensional people. So I think that we as a people, as a person, we have a different kind of dimension in our minds. We're we have our limits, we have our regions, but we also in our mind we have a lot of bunch of folders where it's between limits and regions that we can fictionalize about it, right? And so, like I say, Gloria and Saldúa, to me, it was a great collaboration with her. Even that she passed away on 2004, but she left a bunch of stuff or books, uh, a lot of concepts that we can check about. So you should definitely check about her work. So because it's something that you need as a student and you're looking for the way that you can start to make this research, it's about your life, your perspective, your it's something that you already know. So how you can nobody else knows more than you about yourself and the people that you know, and how you can fictionalize that part. So this is a little bit what when, in 2013 I became resident of the United States. I was living in Mexico in Tecate, and when they told me that I have an alien registration, this is my number of alien number. This is my don't call me don't, just in case. But no, that's just this is my alien number. When they told me, you know what, you're an alien. It was fantastic to me because it's since I was a citizen of the Tecate, then I became alien for another country, but it was so exciting for me to become an alien. But they told me, you know what, you're not Mexican anymore. You're not this and that. But I didn't care at the end. So this is how everything starts. Uh, Explaining myself how I became a resident or citizen of the United States. I was a person living in the border between Tecate and California, or Tecate and Tecate, California. So I start to, this is a little bit some kind of drawings about what I think my, the way that I move, if I move into the limits and the regions of this real space, but how do I move on the limits of the cosmos, or my mind. This is one of the ways that I interpret moving back and forth into my mind and everything. And it's a little bit about what I'm explaining. The book is in Spanish and English, so the second part is the English part, but you can see later, you know. So also one of the things that I'm interested in, so it's the interview. You know, how can we listen? We can listen each other. So that's why the oral history it's important to me. You know. So also this is another drawings that it's I made for this book, and also this is the representation of all the ancestors that I call ancestral Rayovac, people who lives in the cosmos, that lives in the also in the underground. You know, we always thought that our limits or regions are lineal, but you can see it also. You can go, you know, north, south, west, east, but also you can look up and you can look down. So that's why it's important to me to make this idea about limits and regions, see it, see these limits and region on the pluridimensional way. So that's why the aliendigenismo or aliendigena is one of the proposals that makes that we can see the our limits and regions in different kind of ways, not just in the political way, like you know, the border, being the borderlands, you know. Also, Gloria Anzaldúa in her book, she said that after she wrote that book, uh, probably she said after I wrote the book, after 10, 15 years, all the concepts, they're going to change. All the concepts that she make this statement that on after 15 or 20 years everything is going to change, and I believe that is changing now, not because of me, because a lot of people around, you know, they're creating stuff, we're moving in the different ways. So so and it's a little bit about uh, the autohistoria, you know, how we can tell stories that are important for you, but how can you invite people to collaborate with you, even you know, in the music sound way, probably in the perform or writing, all that kind of thing. So I start to make this kind of drawings to represent also fictional characters that are important in my life. So I just put it right here. So I think that also this is I, like I say, I call them my ancestors, like ancestros rayovacs. You know, rayovac, it's the battery, and it's this book also had a lot of sense of humor, and the way that you can definitely, you know, it could be serious in in some moment, but then you can, you know, laugh a little bit, like because it's really, I don't know, dark humor probably, but uh, in the serious way. So this is what I was telling you in the beginning, that I didn't believe about my grandfather. He born in the Indian community, in the Campo Indian reservation, and probably because I was young and I was 8 years old, and to me, being like somebody from the community, it was totally different. And my grandfather, it was a cowboy, you know. But right here you can see that that's why I put his certificate of birth. So when I saw this like 10 years ago, I got like really sad and upset that why I couldn't ask more to my grandfather, you know. But since he passed away, and I couldn't ask it anymore, I create this other um, this alter ego, this name Rancho Shampoo. So this is my grandfather. and this is the interpretation that I made for him, but in my own point of view, how he looked like now in the cosmos. You know? So, but yeah, and when I realized that, I start to create uh, this character named Rancho Shampoo, and in 2009, my mother bought me a computer, so I start to experiment with recording sounds and mix it with uh, you know some samples from GarageBand. I always was attracted by music since I was in a church, but sometimes people don't want to teach you how to use some kind of instruments, right? And when I started to do this experiment in 2009 and with my computer, things start to make sense, and I sent it to friends on Mexicali, who is Ruben Alonso Tamayo, who is Fax, and also other friends, Rodo Ibarra and Valentin Torres. Those guys, they listen the music and they like it, and we put it out together in this label called Indian Gold Records. So at the moment, I was in a state like in between, borders between ideas that I didn't know how to put together, and at the end, everything comes. And also, one of the things that when I was doing my undergrad in TJ, I was coming back. I was working at in El Cajon doing maintenance and repairs. So all that knowledge about work of maintenance, I use it to create, some art or pieces of art. Uh, this is what I present. Sorry, this is what I present in my first year review. So how those ideas about this symbols or alienígenas symbols came to the reality with things that I know or the materials that I know. And this is that's then because of uh, I start theorize about Rancho Shampoo going to the cosmos and bring those uh, you know sacred symbols to uh, the earth, like Moses when he went to the hill and he received all these commandments, and that's one of the things that it's really it helped me out, to getting more deeper and deeper about ideas about sound going different ways, theorize also about the job that I used to do. This is a letter from my uncle, some other person who was very important. He was in jail in Las Islas Marias, or it's a weird, like really tough jail in Mexico by some kind of island. And he sent me this letter, and I call him like a perro rally, because one day my mother told me, you know what, your uncle Pancho, he used to call me names, and one of the names that he told me, she said, my mother, it was perro rally, and it was a joke for them. So, but to me, it was really impressed because I asked my mother, but why he told you like put you that name? It's like why he called you like that? Because my mother used to win. My grandfather told my mother once, "Hey, go get me some cigars," and it's this brand that it's Raleigh. And she was walking outside the house, and my uncle Frank whispered, "You are a Perro Rally. So, and it was a really fun part when my mother told me. So I create my own fiction about that, but it's also that idea. So this is the first time that I had in contact. I've been in contact with Rancho Shampoo. So after this, I decided to put this photo, and this photo is from my friend Jonathan Lee, and we. I decided to interview Rancho Shampoo, and then Rancho Shampoo uh, interview me. So in this I explain why the interview, right? So and it's right here you can see this interview and also this drawings. And we had a long conversation about I was interested where Ranch Shampoo come from, and he told me, and you can read it later if you like. And he asked me what was my intention with being here, or you know uh, writing this thesis or being in the world, and we start also theorize about that. And like I said, Ryan Shampoo is somebody who was navigating in my mind all the time, and we spoke sometimes. And also we talk about music, sound, and I ask for people, like I said, for people that is not around, but he knows a lot. He travels a lot to the cosmos. Since I can't, Guillermo, like me, Guillermo, I can't travel to the cosmos. Well, I ask for some, information when he travels. So, and this is another uh, photo from one of my friends, Salvador Parada is the one who took this photo. So also this is the Yeti, but it's another kind of idea. So, and one of the things that I asked Renchapu told me, you know what, you should talk to your ancestral Rayovac. But yeah, I can ask them, like I can get in touch with them, but what about if they don't understand me? So, okay, I can teach you how to communicate with them. So we create or the Alienígena language, but it's only the phonetical way to put these questions. But this is in Spanish, but you can see it in English, like "Cómo se llama?" But it's a little bit of sense of humor also in this part. So one of the things that is very like important to me, it's that my friend Tim Cuero, who is from the Kumeyaay community, uh, he born in the same community that my grandfather. So it's getting a long time to it took me to get into the community where my grandfather born. And Tim, it's the boyfriend of one of my friends. And when I knew that he was from the Campo California community, I tried to approach him with the ranch shampoo idea, but at the beginning, this was 15 or 12 to 15 years ago. And he told me, you know what, you have your own thing, but I don't think that gonna work uh, with me because this is more serious and everything. But and at the beginning was a little bit uh, frustrating because I couldn't explain myself very well. But after 10 years or 15 years, uh, I'm able to have a connection with this community with where my grandfather born. I'm making right now. I'm doing this a exchange of I don't know. We are collaborating with it because they want to, you know, make this cultural diffusion about the community. So I'm working on that. So I'm helping them, and also I'm collaborating with some ideas and all that. And this is a still from a movie that we were shooting on two, like year and a half or 2 years ago, where Tim was involved on this, and he accepted to be part of the Rancho Shampoo film. I did. Let me see if I connect this. I'm sorry. Uh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is a little bit a short. This doesn't have an audio, but this is part of the fictional film that we are recording, and he is like telling Rancho Shampoo, this fictional character for me, is becoming to the reality. Is telling how to play the world, the core, and how make connection with the cosmos. To me, Team Cuero is one of the key of, or it's important key of this in this research, because it's getting involved more and more. Also, he was on my first year review on right there at UCSD. I think I have it. Oh, sorry, I don't know what I did. Hey. So So, like I say, this was a little bit of what happened in my first year review. Oh, I think I knew what happened. So, coming back to the book, let me go further since I messed up. So to me, having this connection with the community and with this fictional character, and with all the friends that I've been in touch, it's really emotional. It's important, and it makes a lot of sense to be an alien, but also an indigenous. indígena, because we can fictionalize about our life, and we can go to whatever I don't know space you want, like whatever uh, fiction world you invent. But if you are able to create another uh, world, we can connect it. We can create different dimensions, different kinds of ideas. So this is a manifesto about my idea to become an alienígena. This is the one in Spanish. You can check it out also in English. I will show you. So and this is always like possible because having like it's important to have conversation with uh with your friends, with your family, also with your dreams, with your when you dream about something, how those dreams get into your mind, and how can you fictionalize that with the real world. So this is the way that I see now. In the beginning, that I show you on the Google Earth application, like where the limits, the boundaries, the regions. But this is my way to see now. My own travelings, that I used to go, like I say, I born here in Tecate, then I used to travel to Mexicali and then cross to Calexico. This is Campo, this is El Cajon, where I uh, learn about how to make maintenance and repairs. This is San Diego, this is TJ, this is Escondido. Right here could be San Marcos, where is this corner? And this is the cosmos, and this is the underground. This is the limit. So I believe that one of the uh, that we are in this is plur, plur, pluridimensional space, and I'm not interested on sites of control or power, checkpoints, or all that kind of things. I'm interested on how to how we can see our limits, our regions. How can we fictionalize about that? And this is the English part, so I add another kind of drawings. Uh, so to me, it's important. This is the Perro Rally. This is my uncle, the one that I told that story, right? Uh, so that's why I'm saying this an ongoing project or research. This is my house where all the research or the ideas comes to the reality probably. So this is some kind of map or mural where each thing have something uh, special, right? So this is a drawing that my friend Sam did for me after the first year review. He was so excited about it. Then that's what he saw. So this is the way that I wanted to travel to the cosmos if I can, since I can right now. Well, Rancho Shampoo is the only one who could do that, and this is the way that I see my space or my idea. So that's why after all this exercise about thinking, I don't consider myself as a Mexican, probably as um, uh, probably American, gringo, ocho, Chicano. Uh, I'm more about like an alienígena who has been traveled different directions and who's learning, bringing ideas here at the U.S., then taking these ideas uh, to Baja, and that's why I consider myself as an alienígena who practice the aliendigenismo. So the manifesto is right here, where you can check it out. This is uh, the only way that you have to do, and it could be a lot, but the only way, the only thing that you have to do is just fictionalize about yourself and the people who include the people who are important for you. So, and also I want to show you this video. I don't know if you saw it already, and we have, yeah, I think we have to. So this is the way that I think when I ask Rancho Shampoo questions about my ancestors, this is how he goes to the space, to the cosmos. So yeah, so big scale. I know it's a lot of information for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, almost 50. But this is the idea about being alienígena and aliendigenismo. It's about collaboration, going back to your personal story with the autohistoria teoría. Uh, and this couldn't be possible if with the shared the thoughts that my friends share all the time, that they collaborate on this project. That's why it's important to me mention this my friends in this process in this book. Sometimes people think that it's a little bit of selfish, but I don't think so. I think it's more about uh, think about something that you know, theorize, fictionalize, and then create another reality. I'm working with some other friends, well, the same friends, but with other album. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call Aliendigenismo, and it's the soundtrack to travel to the cosmos and became Aliendigenas. So how that's gonna sound? Let's see what happens. But uh, yeah, that's the way I've been working lately, and this is an ongoing process. And I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I would like to think it's gonna take me to a good place. So yeah, that's my proposal. And I don't know if you have, Misael, the questions that you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation, Guillermo.
Thank you. It's a little bit weird not having like people around. So, but
No,
at the
definitely.
end, it's okay. So it's like a self reflection in like thinking out loud about this thing. So, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. And we made sure to include links to all the texts that you spoke about in the chat. So just a reminder, if folks are interested in reading through those books and spending a little bit more time with, I think, such a rich and engaging and interesting and provocative concept, feel free to check out these texts by Guillermo Estrada. And thanks again, Guillermo, for sharing your work with us. There are some questions that came in the Q&A, and I have some as well from students in AMD 368. A lot of them had to do with Rancho Shampoo, and I think a lot of students were really intrigued with this notion of an alter ego. And one of the questions that was reoccurring from students like Hannah, from Yu Meng, and also someone in the Q&A from Miranda, they wanted to know about the name, if there's any specific meaning behind the name of Rancho Shampoo, or if it's something that just sounded different and unique. And also, Alexandra wanted to know, how did you first learn and find out that you were able to communicate with Rancho Shampoo? And I think you spoke a little bit about this. And Jocelyn was also just curious about whether there's a certain process that you undergo to become or to get in touch with Rancho Shampoo and bring him to life, including whether he's more active at night or if you can just talk to him in the daylight.
Okay, I'm writing the.
Yeah, so a few questions were just relating to
Yeah.
this alter ego.
So yeah, the name of Ranch Shampoo became in this. It was like I said, it's a lot of sense of humor on this, and I remember we were in a tour from in Mexico, Querétaro, León, and Guadalajara, and this punk band named Los Nuevos Maevans. I used to play the bass, uh, but it's a we were a little bit drunk, and somebody I was in the process to create. I already had the at the time I already had the songs, but I didn't know how to name the project. And we were, laughing, having some beers, and somebody at the front of the car before starting said, "Hey, what about Rancho? Let's go to Rancho." And somebody on the back said Shampoo, and everybody started to laughing about it. Like it was a cool name. And the whole way, like 2 hours, we were messing around with the name. And when I finally released those songs to my friends, they say, "Hey, what is the name of the project?" And I said, "Oh, let's call it Rancho Shampoo." That's remember we were a little bit drunk and we fictionalized a lot about that thing. So I think it's a cool name, and it became more and more important to to me, and because as you notice, the character is very spiritual, is very intense, you know. But at the end, the name is totally opposite of what it's uh, all the project. So I decide, like, think about these two possibilities about being serious and joking around also, because and people enjoy the name also, and I think it's pretty cool. So that's why. But it's nothing that I was thinking too much. Also, part of the songs, like the name of the songs, all the time when we record something or when I record something, the name has to be with the same. I have to be named with the first thing that it comes to my mind. So it could be anything. I don't spend that much time putting names on or trying to fit the song with it. No, it has to be right away. 2 weeks ago, we were recording all this session for the new album, and it was fun to record, but it was more fun put a name of the song on the song. So that's other part that I really enjoy. And when the people see uh, the name of the song, so it's like the Rancho Shampoo. What the fuck? Like, what's happening? That's not a lot of similarities, but that's one of the sense of humors that I like about to be in to having the name or the name of the song. And when I realized that I could spoke with Rancho Shampoo, uh, at the beginning, one of the ideas to have the character as soon as that I have this connection, I always put myself on the side, like Guillermo, you are only the one who helped Rancho Shampoo to set up the gear and everything, and that's it. And then you, Guillermo, disappear, and then Rancho Shampoo appear, and then Rancho Shampoo disappear, and you appear, you know, uh, because I didn't know how to deal with the character in two dimensions, like in two ways to think about the character. But I was getting deeper and deeper on this research that I decided to make an interview or make the interview between each other. And the precise moment, like it was probably last year that I decided to get in touch, like direct, like trying to shake hands if I can. Probably in the next video, I will end up shaking his hand, you know. But it's also in a process to me to understand him and to him to understand me, and to us understand everything. To me, like understand all of you guys, and I really want it, That's why Ranch Shampoo it's so important, because I need to be open to everyone ideas, you know, and it's like it's so intense and emotional, as you can see. But this happened like probably I decided to talk with him in the interview that I show you like a year ago or a year and a half probably. But I wanted to shake his hand, so it's gonna happen. I don't know when, probably 2022. The cosmos, I don't know, but let's see. So this is process. And when I can talk with him, the most I always talk with him with Rancho Shampoo all the time. It's always like something in the head, but when I'm go to sleep, it's always around. It's always my friends or the people who, like I said, pass away. My grandfather, my grandmother, my uncles, my friends, everything. They're always spinning on these dreams, and that's why I can bring this uh, idea to talk with him to explain me how how that's why that's happening. Sometimes the dreams are so intense. Sometimes I'm gonna take a shower and I'm, you know, doing my hair and it's just we start to talk on the mirror, you know, and it's creepy things that helps to fictionalize and theorize about any kind of topic, you know. So that's why I think it's relevant to be in touch with him.
Great, thank you for that clarification and that explanation. I wanted to also bring up a question from Annika, who's another student in my course. You brought up this fact that part of the name Rancho Shampoo and the way that you go about naming the songs is very intuitive. And Annika wanted to know if that's also the process that you follow for the visual component of your artwork. If the visuals the paintings or drawings, as you described them, are also intuitive, or if there's something else that inspires them. I know that some students were wondering about the connection to Kumeyaay rock art, for example. And I think that's, yeah, maybe if you could answer that, and I'll have a follow-up depending on what you answer.
Yeah. So yeah, the drawings is like uh, also about the narrative of this uh, probably focus on this art book, you know, like how can I draw a perro rally thinking about my uncle. I don't know, it's just I just sit down and see how it's gonna end it up. And one of the things, I don't use much like a pencil, you know, I use a lot of duct tape. So it's easy for me to just sit down and use a wall or use a piece of paper and start to make lines. So that's why my drawings are so thin, like because this is the kind of uh, tools that I use as a maintenance. And the tool, like the duct tape, has a lot of uh, colors and like I'm doing the sketch, uh, the storyboard for the next album, like for the next video. I'm gonna show you this, and I was trying to think about how Ranch Shampoo or my friends we can go to the cosmos and become alienígenas. How we be sitting, like how we gonna sit on the spaceship? I don't know. I'm not at that point yet, but this is the way that I imagine. This is the way that I can think about. It's the narrative. So like I said, it's hard to me to sit down and use a pencil. I think the tape or the duct tape made me made me think in any direction, but be so specific about the narrative, and then we can. It's not that I wanna make something specific. Like I want to draw a landscape. Say, oof, it's gonna be tough, you know. But it's always about the idea. Uh, Again, like when I dream about it, where I'm working and one idea comes to my head, I just go to my sketchbook and just draw it the fastest that I can, and that's it. And then I could polish or do it better, you know. And it's always about the duct tape.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate and I think respond to this way in which you spoke during the talk of drawing on what we know, right? I think being in a university context, I think we have this impression that we're there to learn. So that maybe means that we don't know,
Yeah.
a lot, and that we're in the process of learning. But I think what your work really um, reminds us of is that we are experts already of our own experience, of our potentially like family's experience, and there's this embodied knowledge, right, that I think is important to communicate, to let out, to create with. At the same time, I think that your work also invites us to consider how that those forms of creativity and those forms of knowledge also come up against different forms of borders, right? That begin to impact our ability to express ourselves. And one of our students, Elaine, wanted to know if you can maybe speak a little bit about how immigration and immigration status has impacted your creativity. And I think you spoke a little bit about this um, in your talk already, but specifically if you've ever felt limited in your ability to express yourself, and maybe this before you became a citizen, and if you ever felt the need, or even still now continue to feel the need to feel quiet or to be quiet or censored, so that you don't cause too much attention towards yourself. And she relates this to the fact that there's some folks in our communities, right, that because of their immigration status feel this need to not call too much attention. So if you have experienced that in your work and how you've negotiated that.
Yeah, before when I was doing my undergrad on TJ, I used to come over with my tourist visa, and it was. I explained that also in the book. You know how my tourist visa helped me out to get money to go back to TJ and pay my bills. You know, at the beginning, it was I didn't want to go out that much when I had my tourist visa because, you know what, I didn't want to the la migra just caught me, you know, because I didn't I was so focused on doing my thing that it wasn't that necessary to me to go outside and go into the bars or whatever because I didn't know any people around in El Cajon where I used to live with my parents. So that put me on the spot of a good spot that is when I start to create this character, the music, because I was living in the home of my parents and it was a 2 bedroom apartment and I didn't have any bedroom, so I had to sleep in the living room on the office of the owner in where we used to do maintenance and repairs. So that part helped me out to create and think about I need to spend time not going outside, but I need to spend time to create something, you know. And that doesn't mean that I was afraid, but it's no need to me to go outside and expose myself because I did the only thing that I needed is the money to go back. And Then when I went back with money, well, you know, we're crazy and wild, you know, drinking and all that because I had some money with my friends and everything. So and then I was going crazy and wild to Baja, but then going back to the United States as a with my visa tourist to get some money, be quiet, and then go back. So that was the interaction, you know. But when I became a resident in 2013 and alien or citizen, then citizen in 2016, I think. I remember. Uh, all those feelings uh, disappear, and it was not because I was a citizen or I have the car, my green card, whatever. It was because I was a little bit wrong, you know, because I could go out with no problem. You know, nobody can stop me to. They could, but what could happen? You know, it's just like we need to go outside. We need to experience. We need to breathe. We need to do everything that we like. It to me it was inside, but probably for you it could be outside. And it is no problem to go outside and experience the way that you like. But if you like to be inside creating, it's okay. If you want to go outside, be creative also, it's fine. So, but we have some limits and regions that we need to also respect, because if we go beyond that, now we can have some problems. We need to know how to deal with those political laws or those laws, and we need to also that's why I propose, like I'm not interested on political laws or whatever about immigration. The only thing as an alien indigena, it's be creative, go outside your mind. This is the best way to go and be creative. Go north, south, east, west, up and down. So that's the best way to think about in this country.
Yeah, and I think that the other dimension of that is, of course, your play with this notion of alien, right, and the applications of this term, which is often leveraged to demean, right, and to make other. And so there was some questions from students around that aspect of the work. We took a look at the work of other artists like Ruben Ortiz Torres, who I think you're familiar with, and who begins to question what it means to inhabit this position of the alien or the outsider. And we've also looked at the work of someone like Sun Ra, who embraces that, right, and thinks about an ability to imagine the alien as one who lives outside of the context of borders and is therefore free, to express themselves in a way that isn't bound to constraint. But some students were just wondering if you've had any pushback in terms of your use of the word alien and to some extent the embrace of this term. Ashley wanted to know if your reclamation of the word alien through the alter ego Rancho Shampoo has allowed you, for example, to change the perspective of others who generally find this term offensive. And Benjamin wanted to know if you've ever faced any difficulties in explaining the meaning behind alienígena or the meaning of aliendigenismo, and if you've ever faced any form of moral kind of like issues or pushback in reference to this being an alien, right, and embracing that.
Yeah, I don't have any problems about that. I don't have any problems to be called Latino. I don't have any problems to being called like, I don't know, pocho. The other day somebody asked me how you consider yourself. I don't care. It's just like I was taking my vaccine thing. And when I was filling the form, the lady asked me, "How do you consider it yourself? Like Latino, Mexican, or whatever?" Let's say, you know what? Whatever you think, I give her the free thing to think about how I look, and I'm not gonna be mad because I don't mind, you know. But in my thoughts, I was gonna tell you, okay, how can I consider it myself? Okay, an alien indígena. What do you think about that? You know, and but I should told her that, but you know what? It doesn't bother me in any way. And as an alien, if that bothers me, like no, they also I like that. You know, I like the way that they also I think it's a law that they're trying to get rid of the word alien as as U.S. citizen because they think it's offensive and diminished. But to me, I don't think it's offensive, and I don't think it's any in any way. Um, uh, I don't get offended about it, you know, and because, like I said since the beginning, it's a lot of sense of humor. Also, the alienígena, you can see a little bit about. It's important. It's a, you know, it's a really strong concept that I think so. But it's also a little bit about the sense of humor. Some people get offended because it's two words. They're really opposite. But one of the things that I did is I asked my friend Tim Cuero, the one that is from the community, what do you think about that? So you know what? I don't mind. I would like to be an alienígena like you. Like, you know, you're becoming this concept. I would like to have that idea to expand your mind, to extend, to think about outside this, and that's the way that I want the people to think about alienígena. That you can think about yourself, your personal story, the story about around you, and at the end, alienígena is just a word, one word. As you mentioned, Romero Ortiz Torres, he was my advisor for this uh, uh, work, this thesis, and he was one of the he was trying to encourage me to put this with Sonra, which is like I told you, know, Ruben, it's good, you know, it's okay, it's fine. I understand the connections, you know, but what do you think about Sonny Lee? Like, what do you think about that? And he asked me, like, who is that? Well, man, it's Sunrise. It's like, you know, and it's playing also with those kind of things. So at the end, it's about thinking. It's about like, you know, go beyond your whatever the farthest you can. Don't stay here. Just go experiment, theorize. Just it's like the sound. You have to experiment with your mind and with your words, with your ideas, and then we will be able. If people get offended, well, it's up to them, you know. And but for me, I think it's important to take everything with a lot of sense of humor.
Yeah, I think it's also I when I first encountered the term, I also felt like it was very appropriate, especially to that context, to thinking about the context of a group like the Kumeyaay, right? Who are indigenous peoples to these lands, but have been bisected by an artificial border and which has divided that community, right? So it's in a sense they're recognized as indigenous to the land, but there's also this border that potentially prevents their free movement across this land as they have been moving, right? Since time immemorial. So there's this inherent contradiction, which I think is approached in a way that is, yeah, like approaching it not from the realm, not just I think recognizing its seriousness, but also its absurdity, and like the fact that it's like because it's absurd, then it just opens the door to like other forms of imagining beyond the kind of potentials that we usually feel constrained by, right? And I think to that point, I just wanted to maybe end with one last question that came in from Jeffrey Ray, who is one of the instructors that I think you'll be teaching a workshop in his class. And he wanted to know, and I think that this resonates with some of our other students in the class as well. He mentions in your artistic explorations with Rancho Shampoo, straddling the fictional and non-fictional, as well as when you are straddling two worlds with stratosphere and earth, It seems like one talks to the other. It seems like you extract some reality from the unreal. Do you feel that you have learned something, some wisdom from the stratosphere and speaking with entities in the stratosphere? And in turn, what have you learned from Rancho Shampoo? Some wisdom from him that maybe you could share? And I think that this also resonates, as I was saying, with some questions and requests from our students who just wanted to know what is the best piece of advice that Rancho Shampoo might give them, and especially to those who are afraid to go out and explore spirituality, dimensions, and alternate realities. And maybe if you can just share some practical or just even metaphysical advice as to the most effective way to become better at passing these earthly and mental limits.
Yeah, so just want to make a point that Sonra Herman Sonny Lee Blunt is the name of Sonra. So what I learned about Ryan Shampoo and in his travels, probably that could be the question. Me as a Guillermo, what I will, what I.
Yeah, and if there's something that you would share with students, like a
Mhm.
piece of advice from Rancho Shampoo about how to be better at breaking through barriers that
Yeah.
that we sometimes set for ourselves.
So yeah, one of the things that I learned about this character, it's uh, don't feel ashamed about emotions. You know, this is the first thing. How can you cross? I always, as a Guillermo, all the time I've been like, really tough and I don't care, blah blah blah. I used to be like that, but then as soon as that I get in touch with uh, Run Shampoo and all the time that he traveled to the cosmos and he brings me some kind of gift about like everything. So you know what, like every time they say, uh, just just go and feel that you are like a real, even Ran Shampoo is a fictional character, but he's becoming, to my knowledge, he's becoming to get it real. So he is the one who can travel to the cosmos, and he is the one who can go up to the limits and regions. But since this, uh, all the situations that we're living right now, that we are right now between this computer, this kind of limit and region, how can be in touch with you as a Guillermo? I would like to shake your hand. Misael, I would like to say, hey, man, I would like to see how high you are. And but that is not possible right now, and because Ran Shampoo can travel to other dimensions, the way that I found to travel to your house or you traveling to my house is this way. So I want to invite you guys to come to other dimension and just be in touch with this. Go over here, just go back. This is my only way that I learned with Ranch Shampoo to cross those barriers with a simple gesture. It is a tape, you know, and this is a connection that I have with you in this world that I want to share with you guys. So that's what I learned about Ranch Shampoo. Try to break those things, go beyond, and the only way that we can do it right now is through my tape. That's it. It's also
Yeah.
fictionalized about not only about Ranch Shampoo. It's like I want to, as a Guillermo, I want to create another reality, another way. So it's gonna be probably in 5 years from now, Rancho Shampoo is gonna travel to the cosmos. It's gonna get lost in that black hole, and it's not gonna come back until 30, 40 years later. And I need to be prepared if he leaves. So this is the way that I'm preparing myself. If in some point he just get lost, but I want to see it again.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I think that's a really beautiful place to end, and thinking through the power that art has, that music has to connect us, right? Even in these moments of social distance. So thank you so much again, Guillermo, for sharing so generously about your practice and about your work, and giving us these concepts and these ideas to really think about, questions of alienation, right? Questions of belonging, how to connect, how to break the barriers that we sometimes set for ourselves, that are set for us from the outside. I think arts can be a powerful tool, as you've demonstrated, to begin to, yeah, to live in a way that is more boundless, that is more interesting, that is more freeing and liberating. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining us for this presentation of Resounding Visions. The recording, if you missed any of it, will be up in the coming weeks. And we just wanted to remind you that our following event on May 6th will be with Inner Specifics. So come back and join us for that. And thank you again to Guillermo and to all of you for joining us. And I hope you all have a good night.
Thank you
And
guys, and see
yeah.
you around. Thank you, Miss Eileen, and everybody who is around. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all, and have sweet dreams of the cosmos tonight.
Just fly.